Good morning, Peter Hyslop with your 8:30 Hunter News update. It's hoped police patrols on the Fernley track will put an end to dirt bikes riding up and down the popular path. The Lake Macquarie district says it's called in support from the Traffic and Highway Patrol Command to help deal with antisocial behaviour and electric and motorbikes speeding and nearly hitting pedestrians. It comes after a chase on Tuesday had to be abandoned. After a motorbike turned onto the track, police have arrested the alleged passenger, but are yet to locate the driver. There's criticism being directed at both Keolis Downer and the Rail, Tram and Bus Union this morning for bringing school bus services to a halt yesterday, leaving some students stranded. The union says a cease unsafe work notice was issued after a person hopped aboard a Newcastle bus and threatened to return with a machete. All buses had to be returned to Hamilton and Belmont depots, throwing the school run into chaos before resuming with delays. Principals are asking why Keolis Downer didn't provide information earlier on, the operators pointing at the union, saying they didn't allow proper process outlined by Safe Work New South Wales. Newcastle drivers have labelled the violence on buses as out of control. The union and operator will meet today to discuss conditions. Elibarna residents say more action is needed after vandals poisoned trees along the Red Bluff boardwalk. A couple discovered the downed trees on a morning walk. They say the removal has been gradual. The boardwalk boasts panoramic views and was built in 2010, costing $2.5 million. Wallsend MP Sonia Hornery says a new multi-storey facility at John Hunter Hospital will need adequate security staffing to deal with the growing problem of violence in emergency departments. Doctors have labelled increased instances of assault as a national crisis and is behind a mass exodus of doctors and nurses. It comes as the state government announces body-worn cameras will be trialled at the existing department from next week. She says the root causes for offenders needs to be dealt with.
This is about changing people's behaviour, but they also need to be able to make sure they have the ability and the knowledge of accessing other services. The violence in ED units when people come in drug addicted or have mental health issues, that's not going away, that's getting worse.
Industry and science leaders are coming together this morning, exploring the opportunities and challenges of decarbonising manufacturing in the Hunter. The breakfast this morning is featuring an address by Assistant Trade Minister Tim Ayres. 1,000 runners, swimmers and cyclers will be hitting the pavement and jumping in the water this weekend for the Lake Macquarie Triathlon event. It's expected 3,000 competitors and spectators will show up over the course of the packed program. Event director Paul Humphreys says the races aren't for the faint of heart.
The longest swim is a 1.5 kilometre swim. We'll do that in Lake Macquarie, just off Spears Point jetty. It's a perfect opportunity there to swim, and the spectators get a really good close view. The cycle leg is on a closed section of the Esplanade from Park Road to Lake Road.
And Port Stephens Council says 2 canines have been employed to detect the invasive weed known as the Chinese violet. Daisy and Henry are being tasked with sniffing out the small plant, helping council map the weeds and identify areas to eradicate them. Handler Naomi Finlayson says they love the work.
2NURFM Sport.
The Knights have bounced back from a tough opening round of the NRL to cruise to a comfortable 26-12 win over the Dolphins. Newcastle did the bulk of the damage in the first half, scoring 4 of their 5 tries before the interval. Coach Adam O'Brien says he's proud of the heart shown from each of his players.
Yeah, I was happy with everyone out there tonight. We had some moments that we'd like to improve on, but just the effort from everybody, mate, was excellent.
The Jets are in action in the A-Leagues this weekend, with the men's side taking on Western United at home and the women's side travelling to Brisbane to take on the Raw. Looking to set a club record by going 8 matches unbeaten, the men will need to overcome the team who beat them most recently back in mid-January. Meanwhile, the women have won their last 2 games and despite a horror season still sit just 7 points outside the final spots. And former Singleton Greyhounds junior Josh King has re-signed with the Melbourne Storm through to the 2027 season. That's sport. I'm Will McGrath.
And the winning numbers in Powerball are 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, 19 and 30, and the Powerball is 20. And now you're up to date with the latest 2NURFM Hunter News.